and Uriah. And each one of them brought mom or daddy and 56
5-foot dove.
which was,
Yeah.
I'm not even the best at. But yeah, other than that.
No, not easy.
Not injured. They did, I was gonna say, they had a couple of injuries, but nothing major.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, they went down there to see their new grandbaby.
Especially those little ones. The little ones are fun.
And he brought it back
They're like
yesterday.
this.
He went down. Saved me kind of a trip, but I guess. It still is 2 errors from Pearl River.
Get over that.
Oh, that was
Doors.
I need to find the root rate down my doors.
We don't know if Jeff's coming or don't know he's coming.
He's not coming. He's
He's
out of town.
Pigeon
He's in Pigeon Forge.
Okay, it's 7 o'clock and we'll get started. And we'll start out running through the agenda items. And after that, we'll see where we are, if we want to get into some other discussion or not. That's some other thing people should bring up and talk about. So, start with agenda item number 1. We're missing 2 people, Terry McCormick and Jeff Kelly, but we've got a quorum. So first item is a report from the Pie Festival Arena Cross.
So just kind of like what we covered at the commission, we had all that information there. That's our finalized numbers. I know I gave you some basic estimation. We have hard numbers since then. So total revenue was $80,694. Total expenditures was $24,400, and then our total free and clear profit was $56,293.56.
Everybody talked about that exceed our expectations of what we thought was going to happen with that.
Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Done-
I appreciate
done well.
that.
Fabulous job.
Thank you. I think just as soon as we get past Christmas into the new year, we're going to start working on it. And that way it'll be bigger this year, and I think it will be bigger because we'll have more time, and hopefully we'll put together a committee that'll help with that.
And I guess we still haven't really sat down. I guess people on the committee, we talked about having a meeting, discuss, things we've seen, wonder maybe improvements. Maybe just need to jot down some items and either get them or we have a follow-up meeting some other time later on just to discuss that one subject. What people want to do with that as far as any improvements. I know you've been working on some.
Sure.
Okay. And you had the profit loss statement. Oh,
You got the
the Arena Cross.
Arena Cross was not it's an event we hosted, it's not an event we presented. So hosted means they rent the building. They rent the building, so we got rent for $2,500. Concessions made $31.94. See our costs via security and labor there, what the expenses were. So our profit was $4,010.15.
They didn't charge it. They charge any admission for that, or just walk in the door,
They charge admission.
and they got the admission money.
Right. Anytime somebody rents the building, that is what'll happen.
And you said something about overall, with any glitches, or they seem pretty pleased with the building as far as the facility.
They were excited with the building. We're really impressed with the dirt. We have some electrical issues. Happened at the rodeo, thought it was just a fluke situation, just one of those offhand things, and then it happened, the exact same thing happened again under the same conditions at motocross. We got some breaker and circuit issues, but I've reached out to the contractor, they've reached out to the electrical team, and hopefully we're gonna get those resolved quickly.
What did that affect?
So when we try to black out the arena so that we can use a solo spot, do the national anthem, that kind of thing, for whatever reason, it's throwing breakers on that side of the floor. They're not connected to one another in the sense that one of them is in a breaker box over here, and then some of them are in the electrical box in here, but when this was working fine, it worked fine all during setup, it worked fine, they were playing music, that kind of thing. And then the minute we cut the lights, it throws it. So it happened the same way at the rodeo. So we're trying to get that worked out, and I'm hoping that it's something as simple as just needing bigger breakers, because I think we're on 20 amps, so probably need to go up to 30, 40. But that, I don't know, I'm not an electrician, so that could not be what the answer is. We'll see.
The moisture in the floor of storing in GFI breakers, they're too small, they won't run, barely run an electric razor, and I know why they did it, just to get by inspection. Easy. They needed to put a bigger, if they're gonna put GFI breakers, they need to be bigger.
They the ones along the wall.
Just the ones around the floor,
Around the floor.
receptacles on the floor.
You got that moisture coming up out of that dirt. Cause I run back and forth up down this ring trying to figure out what's over them, and that's what it is.
But hopefully it'll be a simple fix.
And you said that they going to come back next year.
They did, said they wanted to come back, probably be in the fall.
Anything else on the ring cross? Anybody on the committee?
I understood some ventilation issues were present. To what degree, I don't know. Valerie, do you know of anything as far as ventilation?
Yeah, it was worse on, when we first had practice night, I don't think we had a full understanding of just how much exhaust was gonna be in here. So we didn't have all the roll-up doors open. We did roll them up for the actual event. So they practiced on Friday, we had the actual event on Saturday. It helped significantly, but it was an issue. You could look out through here and it looked like blue all the way to the back wall. Practice. During the event, it was less so, but it still was concerning enough that it's worth noting.
You can set these units where they'll just exhaust all 6 of these big units
Okay.
in the program.
Yeah, no, right now I'm having a couple of issues with a couple of them staying connected, but we're working on it as far as the thermostat staying connected.
In the next, that addition back there, that covered canopy that we're talking about, there will be a ventilation system that will take care of the moisture issue that we have in the wintertime. It would be sufficient for anything.
Pull it out, great.
It'll also put heat back in the building.
Cool.
Well, right now, we're on a kind of a trial and error thing. We're gonna run into stuff that, well, we'll learn from and
Yeah.
move forward, so.
And a lot of it is situational, right? Like you don't know until you're doing it.
Right.
So,
But at least we're doing something, trying different things.
right.
Well, I was privileged to, someone that was here that had some concerns. I mean, was it kind of chaotic? Was it dirt bikes running everywhere?
Inside, outside.
Both?
Yeah.
I was here all day outside picking up and everything, and they were a really respectful crew. They picked up after themselves. They wiped their feet before coming in. They were actually really, really respectful of the grounds. All of them were.
This is Will, by the way. Will is our new maintenance man.
Pleasure, sir.
Nice to meet y'all.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit of everything. They weren't moving around in a way that I thought was a hazard that we needed to be worried about. They understood that we had to keep the fire lanes clear, that you could get in and out and around. But when they rent the building,
Yeah,
they rent the building.
yeah.
Just when you're on a motorcycle, you want to ride, especially the
And
racers.
it's a lot of kids. It's a lot of kids.
That was most of it was that the age group that was doing this was mostly younger kids.
Yeah, it was mostly under 18.
Most of the riding I saw was going back to their trailers, and they was all parked along the edge out there.
$4,000 for a one-day event's not too bad to come out on when you ain't got, really no skin in the game.
And in fairness, they brought a lot more people than I was expecting. And anticipate that would probably grow when more people are familiar with the area. A lot of people called ahead of time, wanted to know if we had RV hookups. Told them we don't yet. They still managed to come out here and camp. Most of them have their own setups where they can do that anyway. So I was surprised at the amount of people that we had.
I'd be interested too, Larry, in seeing, September's sales tax
We'll get all that.
versus you know, years past, and then what events we had versus October, and what events we've held, and, seeing what we can kind of narrow down to what the building is responsible for and what we've added to the local tax.
Yeah, we'll get all that, I plan to, and we've asked the state to do more or less this same amount like we did before when the rodeo was here with January and softball and all that, so you'll be able to see a little more in depth on that too.
It's just like that circuit, I mean, it's a circuit, so they're following all these people, they're following the van around, so you got, most of it's gonna be from out of town. So they're stopping in, they're gonna eat, buy gas and all that stuff, so it can't do nothing but help.
There's one thing that I didn't put in here tonight, would be the rodeo, if we have, people be very close, very similar to sales and the concessions and all, we're really pretty close to this, and same rent, so it'll be really close. And I thought about that on the way down, I didn't ask for a full those numbers, but they were
Very
about,
similar.
it was very much the same, as rent cost. As far as dollars, you know, that's another what we're talking about there.
Right.
Another week that,
And we can look back and see what events we've held
Yep.
and see what maybe brought in the
Yep.
most tax base, new tax.
I think that you'll find the rodeo this time versus the rodeo before won't really, it's gonna be apples and oranges
No.
because the rodeo this time unfortunately fell on the same night as the Hardin County Demolition Derby and it really affected their attendance, which means that we had a lower turnout for like concessions and stuff like that.
Had several fairs going on,
Several
Tennessee
fairs
game
going
going on at night, same
Yeah.
time. I mean,
Yeah.
just a lot of different things going on that competing against.
Anything else on this subject? All right, we move on to the profit and loss statement, September 24th. Everybody's got a copy of it.
Mayor, for the people sitting here and all of us, you want to give a readout?
Well, the bottom line is the 19,723.10 to the good or positive there for the year. That's what, that's the bottom line. So right now, we're in the black. And that doesn't include any of the ticket sales or anything hadn't been moved over yet. That won't happen until after the thing closes out, so it does not include any ticket sales for the upcoming events we got.
So the Friday Pie Festival money's done been
Anything prior to.
added back in.
Anything prior to September. It'll be up to the end of September is what this is.
This is not negative.
No.
I think we all decided, we all realize this is a learning curve with the building and get people acquainted, more people knowing it's here. Maybe be able to help recruit other events usage.
For what we're seeing and what we're talking about coming up, I really think that at the end of the day, you're gonna be able to pick and choose what you wanna have here. Pick and choose what is possible, what the community wants or whatnot. You disagree with that, Valerie?
I don't,
I think it's been that way.
but I think it's gonna be a while before we get to that point.
Well, I don't
So,
look at that, it's just, like you said, a learning curve.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
pretty
hurdles to cross, but I do believe that, we'll get there.
On this expenditure or P&L statement, on under total revenues, it's just got other social and cultural and recreational. There ain't a way to put what that was from or for.
We can go
or-
back and pull invoices, that's just the way the software does it, but we can go back and pull invoices on all of it if you want.
Well, I mean,
to.
for our reference, I mean, for our reference and the committee's reference and commission, I'd like to know kind of,
Well, for the county commission meeting, I'll get Tricia to go back and pull those and.
you know what I mean? I mean, I'd like to see
Yep.
what done what here.
We'll put it in the packet for the commission meeting, then, okay? That way. pull invoices and different things like that, but we can do that.
You know, I think it'd help give us a lot more understanding on what's successful and where we need to work at.
And what's entailed having to
That's right.
purchase and provide for. Hopefully some things may just be one-time purchase, and we gradually get stuff and we'll have it on hand, like be
Yeah.
getting.
What is the 50,000 under the 399?
I'm sure it would be the
Deposit.
initial deposit for Trace.
Okay, so the 3-star grant is gonna take care of that, you said?
Yeah, the 3-star grant coming back in, we'll take care of that, didn't you?
Any more on profit loss? We'll move over to the ice skating panels. It'll be
We only had 2 bids on that, you have those, and I have the packet here that has the specifics for each one, if anybody wants to see them or not, but the Global Synthetic Ice guy, we had a, I guess you call it a Zoom call with him, and he, I think really would be the one I want to go with, even had he been hired, because, you know, they have this most everywhere around the United States and in other countries too, and they were, I think, from the conversation I had with the other bunch, because they ended up being the high bidder, they thought they were gonna be cheaper, but they did not. So I really believe they would have been my pick, Global Synthetic Ice, had they been hired.
So these bids are open September the 9th.
Yep,
So we need to make a recommendation on,
if we're gonna buy that and have it for Christmas, we're going to, what do you say, 6 weeks or something like that? What is it?
make a motion about approving bids.
Yep,
First question, the funding.
yep.
Where's the funding gonna come from?
Well, by the time this comes in, we'll have the money back for the hard surface panels that we've already paid for, so anyway, they've already been paid for.
So it's gonna come from the general fund, correct?
It would come from general fund, because that'll go back to general fund at the end of the day.
And what was the figure, the return on that 25% grant match?
How much?
Yeah, how much is coming back?
Will it be 342 less 25%? What would it be?
Yeah. I think we need to know.
And David, you can't make the motion.
No, I can't make a motion.
That's 85,000 is what I'm,
85,500.
85.5. Is that agreeance?
Oh,
The 25%, you might say refund, or the match out of the 342 that we bought the flooring with, that grant has a 25% match that's gonna return back to us at the tune of $85,500 is what my math shows.
yes.
Well, that's what's,
That's right.
that's what the match would be, but the grant, you know, you'll get the balance of that other back too. You know, in other words, we gotta pay 85,000, that's what we gotta pay. We gotta pay 85,000.
That's for the total grant,
Yep,
which was
342.
342.
So you got 6 weeks, if approved, you got 6 weeks to get it in. Then how long you got to pay for it?
Yeah, 30 days.
And we anticipate the 25% by the
Yeah,
end
they
of the
said,
month. By the end of
we
this
hadn't done a
month?
reimbursement on one of those yet, but they said that it would be reimbursed in about 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, what they said. That's what Casey said. Casey said.
Let me ask a question. What about the draw, the revenue? How is it gonna be, is this, the Ag Event Center gonna own, operate, manage 100%, correct? Give me the spin on that. What can we anticipate? I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
No, you can put me on the spot, it's fine, I don't think that there's, I'm torn on the synthetic ice, and it's not because I think that it's a bad idea. I think that it is a readily available idea. And come up with some alternatives to ice skates. I don't know if that's something that's feasible. I think the mayor and I had talked about maybe next year having that. They're like a bumper car type thing where you'd be able to do that. But I feel like that is going to be more of a draw, something that people will do more than once. I don't know that ice skating is something that people will do more than once, and that there will be a huge revenue from it for a couple of reasons. One, you can do it in Savannah, and you can do it for free in Savannah because they pay for everybody to come do it. You just walk up, tell them what size skates you need, and they pay a vendor to bring in those skates. So I'm not against it on the whole, but I do think it's going to be challenging to make money if we don't diversify it in some way and make it a different opportunity.
Well, eventually we can do that. This time in the grant that we asked for the scope change on, they did not grant the change or did not grant the bumper car deal. They did not approve that. That's the only thing they did not approve. But anyway, eventually we could use a 3-star grant next year and go back and ask for those.
Right.
What was the price on the bumper cars?
About 70,000, depending on how many you buy.
Yeah, it'd be about 10 of them. They're about 7,000 apiece. Yeah, that's right. And they also come with a maintenance thing where they, they take care of them, they come out and service them, and then we would keep them on hand. But the thing about them is that it's something that, again, you can recurrently do. In the short term, we are either going to have to contract with a vendor who's going to bring ice skates out, and then they're going to then charge. So if you come to an event here and you pay a ticket price at the door, right? You're then going to have to go back there and pay a price to rent your skates to be able to do that. Or the other option is that Global Synthetic, when we had that meeting with them, they offered to sell us skates. They, I'm sorry, Mayor, I can't right off the top of my head remember how many. I know it was 100 pairs of skates, but I can't remember exactly how much they offered to sell them to us for. The thing about plastic panels with ice skates is the skates have to be very sharp for them to be, for you to be able to do it. So but they offered us a kind of a package deal of a sharpener and teaching us how to use it and all of those things. So
I know we're 1 year in, and I totally agree. There's some learning curves or some things we're dealing with, but at the end of the day, it seems like to me this facility ought to be able to hang its hat on 3 or 4 or 5 items. I'm just saying.
that's fair.
I'm gonna tell you when I look at 66,000 or 75,000, based on the numbers that I've seen thus far with the event coming on, I got a little concerned about that. I just got a little concerned.
Well, if it's all county money, I would agree with you, Philip, but that they're in that grant, and
I understand.
They'll fall under the same preview as the other. That's part of the grant that we applied for, and when we applied for it.
Yeah, but Mayor, the 25%, I mean, if you're spending it one way or the other, regardless on which project.
See, we'll have about $16,000 in those panels, what we'll have at the end of the day. That's what it would be. And to your point, of course, here, the advantage we have over Savannah and everybody else is theirs is all indoor.
Indoors. Correct.
Everybody else is outside in the middle of the winter with the kids, and if we have that 12 days of Christmas here, like what we're planning to do, and it's kind of our mascot or whatever we do every year, then there you go.
Right.
I know my grandkids, my one small grandkids, 2 of them, I would be reluctant in the middle of winter to take them outside with sickness and everything we have, but I'm gonna be all in about bringing them right here, where they can be inside in a climate controlled environment, so on like that, but anyway, at any rate, we'll have about $16,000 in the panel at the end of the day, at the 66,375
Where you gonna store them?
at the JC building right now until we get that other building built. The place to store them, obviously, is back here at the back, just the same as the panels. And they approved everything that we asked in the scope change, which included that building out back, another horse barn, if we want to build another horse barn, and so on. So the storage building is there, and as well as what you were talking about with the camper hookup and all, that's all part of.
Right.
I mean, the good thing about the grant is you have 3 years to administer it. Of course, the clock's ticking on it. Some of the time's already been spent from when it was awarded, but you have 3 years to administer the grant. So
Holding pens and all that was in that grant.
yes, sir, and all this at the back here, every piece of that is in that grant.
Question,
Everything we started with.
would the ice rink cover the entire floor?
No, sir.
That's what I thought.
60 by 120, and that'd give you room for, like we talked about, the Christmas trees and everything else that'll be on the arena floor for the 12 days of Christmas, and basically from Thanksgiving to Christmas.
Right, and it'll be on the far end. So the ice skating panels will be at the far end, and you also have to think about what needs to go around it, right? So there's gonna have to be rubber matting around the edge of it so that you can take off your shoes and put on ice skates without damaging anything and stepping on, stepping off. We'll have to have some benches back there. So there's those ancillary items that we'll have to have in addition to whether or not we do go with the vendor who would bring them in, or if we end up having our own.
But you can use your own skates. Your regular skates work on this ice too, but I realize, as you said, they do have to be pretty short, but your standard ice skates will work on this ice.
I'll have to dig mine up.
I'll have to be here tonight to put them on.
Go ahead and forewarn you.
I didn't say I was gonna do it. But anyway, the grant is open, and we have the ability to buy them, and that's about, we'll end up with $17,000, and that's what we'll end up with.
So I have a motion to do that. Purchase the ice skating panels.
You got two items there. I just understood her to say that she's not really in favor of the synthetic. Did I understand that correctly?
They're both synthetic. One of them
Both
just has synthetic in the name. I mean, we don't have the ability to keep ice in this building, so.
I understand that. I thought it might have
They're
been-
both gonna be the same thing.
They're about a half-inch thick, is what they are.
Yeah.
They kind of, like a jigsaw puzzle, they can really go together, you know.
Kind of like the other panels.
No, not, those have got a bigger lip on them, and they kind of sandwich together. But these just lay down flat, and they got a, kind of like a jigsaw puzzle piece put out on them, they just snap together on the edge. With the big.
What's how long are they supposed to last?
Well, if you take care of them, then the ice skates is a big part of that, you know, maintaining the skates. They'll last a long, long time, but it just depends on how well you take care of what you put on.
I'm assuming this is a Teflon substance.
It's flickering glass, it's.
Probably like a high poly moly
Yeah.
plastic.
Is it sections that you can replace as needed?
Yeah. There's a 2x4 section, is what they are.
2x4 sections? So you're gonna, it's not like you're replacing the whole floor again or something like that.
Replacement panel. One of these will have 6
Do them panels sit on top of the regular full
They-
panel?
Yes, sir, that's the idea, and they'll sit right on top of your other 4 panels. That's what they look like.
Anything else we do on these besides bunker cars? Y'all think you think of?
I've been doing research on it. That was really the only thing that I found that I felt would be revenue neutral or growth. I think that other options that I came across were not going to be something that we could both afford and then recoup our money back from. Most of it is either expensive, or I don't think that it would have a big draw. So.
Ice skate would be one time a year. Yes, bunker cars, that would be multiple times.
It could be.
For different events, until we're ready.
And you've seen them, you've probably seen them even at the beach. They look like an inner tube. It's got a little motor on it, and a lot of times you'll see them in a swimming pool, that kind of thing, at an arcade, but these are just made with casters on the bottom, so they're meant to propel you, and then you just kind of bounce off of the people around you. So, but for the amount of space we have, for the amount of pounds we have, we would need roughly between 8 and 10 of them. Even if you're running 8, it would get you back up in case something would happen, and you could replace it, so. That's where we got to with that.
So you'd have 4 panels, then you would have another 70 grand to put bumper cars in here, is that correct? Okay, thank you.
the elephant in the room right now is how is this $66,375 investment that cost us $16,000,
Yeah, $16,000, $17,000.
how are we going to recuperate the county's money by buying these ice packs? Somebody, pretend I'm the devil's advocate, and sell me on this concept.
There'll be an admission fee for the 12 days of Christmas, I'm sure. right?
There will, and we are splitting that with the property center. We are 50/50 on the setup and 50/50 on the gate. The only thing we're keeping money on is the separate admission fee that they're not taking anything from that because they want to pay for it. So that's on us, because they know we're recouping the price of the town.
It's not gonna be on the map, it's not something that's gonna wear out tomorrow, even though
All right,
it's been for a long time coming.
let's look at it like this. All right, we've got X number of people coming to 12 Days of Christmas. Can we see an increase of admission? Give me a guesstimate. What's admission gonna be? $5 a head, $10 a head?
It'll probably be about $10 a head. Like I said, we're working with the Carl Perkins Center, so I want to make sure, but some nights may be different based off of what we're having for that night. So like one night will be a market night where people can come in and shop. It may be different for that night. They're also going to have a night where they do pajamas with Santa, which is focused around predominantly the families that they work with. It may be less expensive on that night to work with those families. So there's a little bit of leeway there. We're still working on the logistics. 12 days is a lot of days. I'm not expecting to have 1,000 people any one night. It's just meant to spread out because at Christmas time in December, and you know this, you've got dinner with your family and Christmas with her family and this, that, and the other, and it makes it very difficult for people to really utilize coming to one day event, right? So the idea being is if we spread it out, it's during the week, so it's Monday through Thursday for 3 weeks. It's not Friday, Saturday night when you've got a company Christmas party or whatever. So hopefully by spreading it out a little bit, it gives people the opportunity, and we're gonna have different activities that they can take in. We'll have like gift wrapping, we'll have ornament decoration for kids, that kind of stuff. And then one of the things that I'm gonna ask at the next commission meeting is that each of the commissioners help us to find one company apiece that will sponsor a Christmas tree. So if you've ever seen it over at the Pink Palace or Shelby Farms, they have a festival of trees. From here, that way, will be Christmas trees. And they'll all be the same tree, and then everybody can, their company can decorate the tree as they like, based off of colors or whatever. And for 12 days, you'll be able to come and walk around and look at the Christmas trees, and we're gonna sell hot chocolate and soup and cookies, all that kind of stuff. And then on the last day, we'll auction those off, and the money will go towards the Carl Perkins Center. So a lot of our Christmas is focused on helping them, and I think that's good.
Well, if the ice panels would generate over those 12 days, 400 additional ticket sales. You're looking at 4 years return on investment. Do you think it will generate more than 400? Do you think it will generate 600, 800?
Well, and that's kind of where I stand with it as far as wanting to diversify what you can do on it. From a skating standpoint, I think that you're going to be limited with the amount of people you can bring just because it is readily available in places nearby. You can do it in Savannah, Dyersburg, you can do it over at Memphis at the Zoo Lights. So it's not something that's wildly different from other places you can go. However, if we just take this year out of the equation, right? Let's say this year we bring in 100 people. Next year, I think when we are offering something different, that will drive up that number more so. So I think over time, just like with anything, when you're starting something new and you're trying to add to it, over time, I do think that it'll work out. But I don't have really high expectations for the first year of it. It's not to say that I think it is a bad investment or that I think it's a bad idea. It's that from a realistic standpoint, if I can drive 20 minutes and do it for free, even in the heat, because I can buy hot chocolate over there too. So if, I appreciate that it is needed in here. I do think that that's great, especially if you have little ones. But I'm just not sure I haven't done it enough to be able to tell you that it's going to skyrocket the amount of people who come in. I don't know.
I think it'll change the sale, there's no doubt about that, but how much, you won't know till you try.
Right.
100% you won't know it, but obviously it'll help, no doubt.
All right.
And the fact
Well, I got a
that-
question. The floor panels that we have bought, for $342,000. Are they multi-purpose? Or are they just for sitting chairs on?
No, they're multi-purpose. Do
How
pretty
come
much
you
anything
can't
on
have,
them.
how come you have bumper cars on them?
You can.
That's what I thought. Thank you.
I don't know that you can have the kind for the ice panels on those. I think they're different because the ice panel is much slicker, the finish on it is a whole lot different.
Right.
And these will be, these panels are more portion this table.
Right.
Keep from slipping on them, you know, so it's not gonna be conducive for that, I don't think, those panels. But now you can play pickleball on it, you can set up a pickleball court on it, you can drive a forklift on it, and drive a SkyTrack on it, you know, it is very versatile.
Well, I think, I think the ice panels will probably pay for themselves. Like you're talking about, Brad, over how many years is it gonna take to pay for itself? What return on investment
Well,
is realistic?
Mayor, let me ask you this question. If we chose not to do the ice panels, what ramifications is that gonna have on everything else we've got going on?
I don't know, I mean, of course,
Is
that was
that
part
gonna
of
throw a
the,
monkey wrench in?
it was part of the original grant package that we applied, we all approved applying for it in the beginning, you know, and we haven't asked about changing or doing something different with it, I don't know. I don't know if they modify that or just take it away. I don't know the answer to that, Brad. We've never done an LPRF grant before, this is brand new.
Just made changes to that grant just recently.
We did, but that was quite a process. And
Just question
wasn't
was,
anything easy about it.
if we tried to ask for another change, how receptive would they be?
They will
to
not
that?
be receptive, thank you for asking. They will not be receptive.
That's sort of what I
Expect we'll
assumed.
lose it if we don't do it.
Yeah, I think that I don't think that they were super thrilled in the scope change because there were some things in there that they were excited about us doing. I don't think that they're by any means not going to help us moving forward. As you saw, they increased the funding on that. So I think that they are open to the possibilities, but I wouldn't ask to change again.
Again, guys, how much are we willing to step out on that limb? Because none of us ever done this. We've never had anything like this in McNairy County. So, what do you, it's kind of based on your feeling and your gut feeling of what you think it'll do.
Well, it just adds to the equation of what other opportunities we have, and we'll have, if we have that at Christmas, no doubt it'll be a draw, because people in the county have been very excited about the possibility of having those when you've had conversation with them about that. So,
I think the 12 days of Christmas, no doubt, will be a draw, and I think it'll go over good. How much, question is, how much will the ice panels add to that? And that's something that we really don't know.
It's sort of
There's no
like,
way to know
it's a
that.
lot like the Pie Festival. We didn't realize what it was gonna do either till we done it.
Never thought it, yeah.
if we had a ag-related fair with it, that would be a slam dunk, sure enough, wouldn't it, Anthony?
Anytime you got a fair, it's a slam
Yeah.
dunk.
Right now, we've got a 66,370
Fine.
that actually we're gonna get for what? 17,000 roughly
16, 17,000, yeah,
of what it's gonna cost the county.
yep, with the grant. Yep.
And we could jeopardize if we do not do this. What could we jeopardize if we don't do this?
I think the only thing you jeopardize is this.
This section.
I don't.
We just lose this part of the grant.
I don't
Well,
know.
I also don't necessarily know that we want to tempt fate with that. So that grant is a Parks and Rec grant, and it's meant for Parks and Rec stuff. So the rec being the hard part of that, right, is making sure that we have recreation and we are doing things that are recreation based off of that grant. And then we said, we'd like to change the scope where we're not going to build the baseball fields, which is recreation. So I don't want to tempt fate too much with them. We've got to have some stuff that's encouraging people to move around a little bit.
Well, let me do something kind of out of the ordinary. What do y'all think? Y'all think an ice skating rink would be worth $16,000 or $17,000 over a period of time? Would you bring your families? Would you bring kids, grandkids?
I'd bring my family for once a year.
And
Them ice
that's all it's
skating.
gonna be you.
Yeah.
But how many people are gonna do that? Are you like 3,000 other, or are you like 200 of them. You know, I mean,
I just know ice skating is just, I mean, it's fun for about 5-10 minutes.
Here's the thing, here's my opinion on it, and I don't care what she thinks, or he thinks, or none of you think. You're gonna have church groups that's gonna come. There may be 10, and there may be,
That's true.
maybe 150 of them. They're gonna come, and they're gonna, like he said, they're gonna play for 10 or 15 minutes, and they're gonna go, but they're gonna come. They're gonna come, and you're gonna pay for these, look, you're gonna pay for these skating panels. Man, I spent that much on a nose track today. So, you know, you're gonna pay for these ice skating panels over a period of time.
Well, but
If you
here's
get
the.
into something just besides the ice skates, I think.
Right. Well, and that's what I was gonna say, is that, the big unknown factor there is, what are the vendors gonna charge, right? So, yeah, you're gonna bring your kids and you're gonna come, but you're not gonna do it if they're charging you $20 a head. You're not gonna do it if they're charging you $15 a head, especially if you paid at the door. So it might be that we have to offset that in some way, where we do partial costs to get the vendor to do it at an affordable rate to rent those skates out. Or we have to decide if we're gonna buy skates. So that's a big difference, because he might bring his kids, but if he's bringing 3 kids and it's gonna cost $20 a kid for 5 or 10 minutes of ice skating, they're not gonna do that.
I would hope renting skates wouldn't cost 20.
Right, well, I mean, I'm just making an example. I don't know exactly what it costs. So if they come in and say, hey, we're gonna charge $10 a head, that's still $30. Are you gonna do that? Or are we, as a facility, gonna say, all right, we're gonna pay you X amount up front if you charge $5 to rent skates?
Well, I think too, that's kind of we could kind of say, well, look, you know, if you're gonna be too high, we'll just buy our own, you know, we won't use your services no more. So
Right, but
here's where you need to stay within for it to be
Right.
feasible and equitable for us.
Right.
You can bring your own, like I said.
Yeah, and
before,
you can still
bring
bring
your own. And a lot of kids, some of mine already have some anyway too, but anyway, I imagine a lot of them do.
Of course, if they're gonna furnish you a sharpener and all that stuff, you can charge for that too.
Oh, yeah.
15 years ago, my daughter was playing AAU basketball, and the big deal was where you could go to a facility where they had 1, 2, 3, 4 basketball gyms, and you could bring them in from near and far, and you could collect and charge, and you could sponsor and sell and do and whatever. Can you play basketball on the floor that we bought?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to do something Parks and Rec to make some money and draw a crowd, you line this baby up, put some goals for $66,000, and I guarantee you can pack the house. And it's untold from there plumb through the 1st of April, May, and June. An indoor facility that's got the capability of doing that. You've already got the floor, you can utilize it, okay? Because right now, I think it's concert or bust on the floor, is that right?
Well, there's lots of things that we can do with the floor, we just haven't got to a point where we've had those discussions.
I get it, that's what I'm asking
Yeah,
right now. as far
right
as-
now it's concert.
You know, if we're brainstorming and talking about that, here's where I'm at in the deal. It looks like it's a little high risk. Do I think it'll draw? Do I think it's a wonderful thing? Do I support Carl Perkins? All of those things are yes, yes, and yes. But at the end of the day, if it's got to be Parks and Rec, I'm just telling you, I would love to see at least 3 basketball running this way, and you can roll them in here and out. I'm talking about 25 different ball teams and rack up. They'll do it. They'll come.
Right.
They will come.
And there's good things
Pickleball
about
tournaments or whatever you want to do.
Pickleball,
I don't-
softball, we're doing
whatever.
softball again, so.
Well,
there's-
I don't know about, I mean, whatever, but I'm just saying. But it is confirmed, you can play basketball, you can take the lines, and you can play ball.
Play basketball.
That's what I need to hear.
Yep. You play just about anything. If you play soccer on it, you play volleyball, you can play just about anything on it, and I'm already
Absolutely.
working on some stuff to be able to
Absolutely.
make it versatile enough to do that.
Absolutely, thank you.
Each piece of the puzzle makes it just that more attractive, whether it's ice skating, paddle, or whatever.
agree.
Whatever.
I agree.
It just makes it basketball, pickleball, whatever, it just makes it that much more attractive.
You asked my opinion on ice skate panels. I would, for 16, 5, 7, whatever, I'd buy them. What do you think, Terry? I'd take a chance on them. But now, there again, you're gonna end up buying the bumper cars and the skates or whatever, because you're not gonna end up with somebody, depending on somebody to furnish skates. You'll end up buying all that stuff. And you gotta keep up with it.
At some point.
Well, it's not like they're gonna last for a year or 2 years and then have to throw them away, right?
Right, no.
Once you buy them, they're here. You replace the sections as they get wore out.
How big did you say that floor was about?
And that's a 60 by 120?
Yep.
Can you
I
roller
wanna do
skate
it
on the
now
ice
time
cream?
to-
You
We got
roller
the
skate
grant,
on that floor. On the
we got the
floor,
grant
on the
money,
floor that they're gonna put
and
down.
ain't nothing getting no
I think
cheaper.
you can.
You ain't think about the grant.
I say we have a roller there first thing.
Actually,
And ain't
thing
cars
about
gonna put
the
their
grant,
skates
got
on.
awarded the grant.
Part of the reason for getting the grant was you had to.
I can skate. I believe I can take them out.
If we don't follow through with the grant request, it may not be.
We get Russell,
received.
we get
Next
Russell
time
Engel out
we
there
add
between us. I
more,
believe we
may
can
not
mash
be
him.
What's that?
consideration.
I roller skate.
Roller skate, I used to roller skate.
I do too.
Roller skates don't even have to.
I know. I wouldn't want roller skate on the ice cream.
Look,
No.
our decision here tonight is not final. Okay, we make a recommendation.
Right, we'll make a recommendation to the whole commission to vote. Approving our recommendation. So anybody want to make a,
So I'll move that we carry it before the full commission on buying the ice cream.
I think.
okay, we got first and second. All in favor, say aye.
Ray asked for debate.
Oh, you want to debate?
Yeah.
I forgot you got the rules. All right, we'll debate the subject.
So we did.
I thought we'd been debating it.
Now, that's just open discussion.
Any more debate about this subject?
Is any, Valerie, your personal opinion is this is going to skew negatively against the grant, correct?
If we don't do it, I don't think they'd be thrilled, I gotta be honest. I don't.
Larry, you don't, pretend you don't want them or you don't care. What's it gonna do with,
I mean, they're not gonna take the grant away from us.
they're not gonna take it away?
I don't think they're gonna take it away from us, but, you know, there's gonna be other issues that come up in the process that administer on this grant. That, you know, you're gonna want their help, and you're gonna want them to be, you're gonna want them to understand that you're partnering with them, and you've done what you said. See, we've asked for these, this has been going on for 2 years. And this was in the original proposal, this isn't something that's been added.
Correct.
And everybody voted, every one of you, everybody voted to include those in the grant application. Everybody did.
And I've been working with them, Brad, to try to stay in a good place with them, and there are things that I'm doing to hopefully make that, continue that relationship. Part of it's gonna be Halloween.
You don't want to serve them, you don't put a rotten egg in the basket right now.
That's what I'm getting at.
I am focusing the Halloween event around recreation, 100%. So
This
we're
has
gonna
been-
have a Halloween carnival that is recreation focused.
This has been the most difficult grant to pull off, that I've pulled off since I've been here. We've had plenty of them, and got some more that'll be open in a few days. But anyway, this has been the most difficult one to deal with.
And the last one you want us to rock the boat.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
I ain't talking to Dee. I'll call him later.
You got a motion and a second?
Yep.
All right, we got a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed?
I say aye, so we got one opposed, 5 for, 4 for, and 1 against. So we'll present it to the full commission for debate if there any comes up. Okay, then the next part is, I guess what you asked for, wasn't it, Keith, about costs around the Athens event?
Now, this is production one, this is.
That's production, quotes and,
It's what I had asked for.
Somebody had.
And this is the the cost for the three of those, and Russell has dealt with them, he knows a lot more about it than I do, other than just the cost.
Significant difference there in cost, ain't it?
Yes, sir, there is.
The biggest
And there's a
reason
whole
you
lot
see
more.
that is because
Go ahead.
Production One has most of that stuff in-house. That's just what they do. It's a full-time company. Whereas these other guys are smaller outfits, and one of them in particular had already contacted Production One about renting from them. So they were, in their fee, they had rented from Production One, raised it a little bit, and so it helps that they had most of that in-house of what we were gonna need.
First question, I got several. Has a bid been, that has been received, has it been awarded?
No, sir. We
It's
can't
not been
award-
awarded.
We can't award it till y'all approve it. Till the full commission approves it on the 21st.
And let me ask this next question. Why are we having business items on something where, according to the paper and according to the information I've got, October the 12th was the end date? I'd like to hear some clarification on that.
Well, because we don't have time to have another meeting here, and this is all the bids we received, and if we have a change in that, the budget committee can make that change. We're just presenting you with what we've got tonight. You don't have to approve these tonight, but we just brought it to y'all because.
Wait a minute, Larry. You got 3 bids here, and we're debating like crazy over ice rink that had 2 bids, and you're telling me that we don't have to have any action on this?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that at all. What I'm saying is, we could get another bid on this, but we're simply bringing it to y'all tonight because we won't have time between now and the county commission meeting, other than a budget committee meeting, to have another meeting with everything that's coming up. But again, this is just for discussion tonight, unless y'all want, if you want to vote on it and approve one of them.
Well, you can't approve it until the bid's in.
That's right.
And the end date is
But
ended.
y'all have asked.
So this is just information on.
Wait, let me clarify that. I asked about the items on the agenda. That was my request. I want to know what items are on the agenda. And if we are in a position where ice skate panel bids are in and we're making a vote from this subcommittee to make a recommendation to the full commission, explain to me why we would or would not. Are you telling me that we didn't have time to get them in, but yet we're still going to look at the bids?
Time to get what in, Philip?
You just got through saying that we didn't have time.
Get what bid? What are you talking about? Which
We're
one?
talking
The
about,
ice panels or
no,
the
sir,
other?
I'm talking about production bids, the 3 bids that are in my
No, we
packet.
have time to get them in for the budget committee to approve them for the county commission meeting on the 21st. We have time, the 12th.
All right, let me ask the next question then. Is this subcommittee going to make a recommendation to the full commission?
You can if you want to tonight from one of these, unless we get a better bid in.
But we could actually, what he's saying, we could actually, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying we're not gonna have time to have another
All right.
ag event center meeting
No, sir.
to go over this.
That's correct.
All right, I may be wrong, and I hope I am, but it looks like to me we have opened the bids and we're still open.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Well, Russell, you can speak to that.
Is that what we've done?
I mean, I printed off what had come in from my last committee meeting, which was last week, and showed them where we were.
All right, but I've got 3 bids before me and the bid is still open. Am I correct?
2 more
Well,
days.
the bids are not sealed, they're still not sealed because we're sitting here looking at them.
Were they sealed bids, Russell?
We didn't ask for them to be sealed
Where were they open?
at my office.
Who all was there?
Entire ag committee, or not the
Yeah,
ag committee, but the tourism
The
committee.
tourism committee.
All right, so the allocation of funds, does it come before this subcommittee or not?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can make the recommendation, or we can wait.
I don't see how we can make a move with it open, Larry. Am I wrong?
No, you don't have to make a motion tonight. You asked particularly,
You're saying we could, you said we could, but then you're saying it has to wait till the full commission.
you could make a recommendation, but that don't mean it has to, if there's something else comes in between now and then, you can come back and change or alter your bid, or alter your, not your bid, but your recommendation. But in my opinion, if we wait till the budget committee, you asked what was involved, what the production costs were involved, And I don't know any other way to answer your question other than what we've done here tonight.
Could we have a committee meeting before the budget committee meeting?
We can, yes.
Well, I'm gonna tell you where I'm at. I don't even know why it's on the agenda, quite frankly. It shouldn't be on the agenda tonight for any action whatsoever. The bid should not be made public, and to be quite frank, they should have never been in this position.
You asked you wanted to know what the production costs were going to be, and I don't know what else I can tell you.
I asked for more information than that, Larry. I can pull the email back up right here, and I can clarify for everybody that's sitting here, because that's not what I asked for. I didn't ask for the production bids.
Well, but you wanted to know what was gonna be associated with the Trace event, and I don't know how we can tell you.
Y'all understand though, by having a public meeting with those bids open, it's bid rigging because somebody can come
exactly
in
the
right
word I was
now
fixing to say.
and undercut the bid because they know what the numbers are. It's illegal.
Right.
City of Mickey just went through this 2 months ago on the state bid and they had to throw them
You
all out.
can't open bids in a public meeting that aren't closed because now somebody can come in and bid under.
I don't know that there couldn't be some litigation to this. Russell, let me ask you a question. I know just enough to be dangerous about rigging, okay? But I know a little bit. These bids that have been sent forth right here, you mentioned production one. You haven't awarded them the bid?
No.
You haven't been in contact with them?
Oh, I've talked to them several times. They were in the building the other day.
Post bid?
Yes.
Okay. I'm concerned about the detail. I'm concerned about insurance. I'm concerned about the rigging, the layers. I'm concerned about our insurance. Have we got multiple layers? I mean, I was given the illustration that, you know, if a mic falls over on the stage, that's one thing. But when you're talking about this, and this ain't no beauty pageant from the county fair, no disrespect. This is big time production. It concerns me a little bit that I don't see the details in there. It also concerns me that we're even having the discussion about these open bids.
Can I ask a question to Russell?
Yes, sir.
Are you an attorney?
Yes.
Did you let anybody look at Trace Atkins' contract?
The writer and the contract?
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, they're
So he pretty well said, hey, I won't be there unless you pay me X amount of dollars.
True.
I got another question. How many on-site surveys were conducted from the bids that were sent forward?
You mean of those companies?
Yes.
They've all been in this building now.
I'm gonna ask that question one more time. How many on-site surveys were conducted?
You talking about specifically as it relates to Trace?
I'm gonna ask the question again. How many on-site surveys were done by these three companies who submitted the bids?
I'm not sure what you're wanting.
We're all three of them here.
All three of them have been in this building at different times,
More than once or multiple times?
multiple times. Not production one, they've been here one time. Was
So
it
let me ask you this, has Mid-South Production, have they been here
Mid-South? Yes,
prior to them submitting a bid?
yes.
Thank you.
They were actually the first time, well, they've been in the building multiple times. They were the ones that were actually used to do the grand opening.
Russell, I'm not calling you a liar, and I'm not disputing what you said, but I was told today that you notified Mid-South by text that they didn't receive the bid. I was told that today.
Did I text them and told them?
You text them, that's right.
I have talked to them. Now I'm just sitting here telling you, a conversation that
I want it on record. Did you text them the information and tell them that they did not get the grant? It's a simple yes or no.
I have not texted them.
Thank you.
The bid don't even close to the 12th, right? So somebody theoretically can still come in and bid the process.
Right.
So there's no, I mean, I wouldn't think anybody would be awarding or trying to award anything before the bid is closed and before this committee
Absolutely not.
or the full county commission for that fact.
That's correct.
I mean, you know, X amount of dollars, it's a numerous amount, and I would hope that we wouldn't be doing that, and I really don't think it has been done, but now, like you said, I mean, the proof's in the pudding here on these bids here. They are, I mean, I know what they are now, and some of y'all know what they are now, and so, I mean, theoretically, if I wanted to, I could come in and say, well, I want to do $5,000 on it, and have to get the bid, because that'd be the, you know, so we flubbed the dub on that.
Here's what I'm concerned with. It ain't got no hitting who, what, where, when, or how. I'm concerned about the perception of McNairy County Ag Event Center. I'm concerned about the future, about how we handle and conduct business. I'm concerned about the welfare of the taxpayer money that's being dumped in this thing. And I'm telling you, there's a thing called a blackball list in the entertainment venue. It is a common, known fact. Am I wrong about that? Is there a...
You're not wrong about that.
Thank you. I've heard that term, and I'm not a traveler, and I'm not a big time, I don't know enough. But I can tell you this, that's the last thing that I want from McNairy County. So this right here tonight, it makes me nervous. It doesn't smell good. I don't think this was done correctly. I think if this item of business should not even have been on the agenda tonight, quite frankly. I'm done.
Mr. Chairman, next item.
Yep. Next item, ticket sales, sponsorships, marketing for the Trace Atkins event. There'll be no action on this other part. Who's handling in charge of ticket sales, monitoring, working with all that?
I'll check it. We are, as of yesterday, the Gold Circle, which is considered front row, was complete. Well, it sold out really quickly. As of yesterday, we were at about 600 of the 4 reserved, which is the next section behind front row. And these numbers have gone up a little bit since yesterday, but general admission we had done 255. So total sales revenue as of yesterday was $101,040.
How many of these seats are comp seats, come with sponsorships and things?
Well, they're paid for. The sponsors are paying for them. The extra tickets that even Philip got, they're paid for. But that would be 55.
Are they included in this number?
Yeah, so they're in that number.
$25,500 worth of sponsorships.
On top of the ticket sales.
Yep.
That's correct.
So we're approaching breaking financially, correct?
You, right to date, if you take out the $3 a ticket guy gets, $97,575
Okay.
would be the total.
97,575, you said?
Yep. If you take out the
$3
ticket guy
ticket
portion.
surcharge.
We're not at breaking point yet.
No.
No, because you got your production cost above his guarantee.
But then you got the 25,000 sponsorships to add to that too, so you're getting close.
But you're getting closer.
You gotta do the production.
We're getting closer to his cost on breaking even. That's not closer to the event. breaking even.
Then you still have concessions and stuff like that coming from the backside of it.
If you look at the production, If you look at the expenses, there's several variables there. I'm not throwing off on that. I'm just stating what's on this paper, the printout that I've got. There's 5 of them. You know, you got a $40,000 estimate. You got chair rental. You got floor prep, hospitality. You got labor. It's estimated. The security to be determined. Concession overhead, $4,000. I don't know what the cost, that other one's on the, for the event center, but waiting on the cost from the source company. What is that, Valerie?
Oh, I've got to put up signage. So when you look around, so each one of these sections will be labeled. It'll be 101, 102, 103. I've got to put those signs up, so I gotta get those. We gotta have no re-entry signs, no outside food and drink signs. So just general signage that was gonna have to go in the building anyway, but I need to get it now, so that it will affect this event. But you'll also have signage for the sections on the floor, A, B, C, D.
Sure.
So that kind of stuff. That's what that signage is, and I've sent them, what we need. They just haven't got back to me what the price will be yet.
All right, is the lift that is the last item on that, is that part of the need for that, or no?
We will need lifts. I know that they mentioned it, talked about it at the tourism board about hopefully finding people who would be willing to let us borrow scissor lifts. We're gonna need 4 of them. So, you know, hopes and prayers that we can borrow them. If we don't borrow them or we can't find enough for them, then that would be additional.
We just don't know what that figure is.
We don't know. If we need one, that's a big difference than if we need both.
Security ones, are we purchasing them?
Yes.
Did you get a cost from Get Her Done today?
They're not open till Monday.
The radios at $1,878. Purchase, we use them future. You mentioned tape. As far as tape, that 1420, that's reoccurring?
Yes.
Okay.
For concert purposes. And it may not be the same price every time. It's for the layout that we'll need to do for this one. It's part of our exception.
Well, where I'm looking at it, when I look at this sheet, you've got $19,888. That's the projection loss currently. But you don't, there's figures that are not filled in there, so that's going to go up substantially.
I don't know that it'll go up substantial, but it could go up, yes. But that's based off of a current seat ticket sales number.
Right. Thank you.
All those items you covered, how many of those items things we went to have on hand permanent from now on?
Permanent from now
Yeah,
on?
like you're talking about the bleacher signage, that'd be one of the,
Yep.
some of the other ones.
That's
they'd be-
definitely one of them.
They'd be used for other items, other events too.
The radios will be used for other events, the security ones, yeah, those things. So just those 3 things.
There's something I haven't saw on here, Russell. You got an opening act,
Yes, Austin Bohannon,
what would he charge?
1,200.
1,200,
1250.
1,250? Then we're looking at having, some local talent open for the opener, or a song or 2 or something.
We're looking at Joe Hopper from Adamsville. He's been suggested. He'd take about 15 minutes. And then Bohannon gets 30 to 45.
And I'm pretty sure they ain't charging nothing, they would be glad to, local talent be glad to trip on the stage.
Right.
Get them off stage. Anything else on that? Oh. Channel 7's only TV stations will be ready to ads. And then it's 104.9. Where's that station out of?
Which one's that, Kudzu?
The Corin.
The Kudzu?
Oh, you got.
Yeah, they're on.
You.
And Keith mentioned one that I'm gonna check on tomorrow.
I really think it's probably the #1 most listened to country station in this, probably West Tennessee.
1041? Yeah.
Yeah.
It gets Kentucky, Missouri to Tupelo. Just about get it to Tupelo. It's got a long reach.
Anything else on this agenda item? No, that will complete that. Anybody, committee members got anything else?
I'm gonna say this, and I know I don't want anybody, constructive criticism, okay? I've been to a couple of events and their concessions. And I've got some complaints from last week. Stale nacho chips and cold cheese is not a good concession stand. Cold hamburger, not a good concession stand. If we can't make it good, don't serve it. I mean, I'm not trying to get on anybody's case, but.
No, but we need the feedback, because I need the feedback. I wouldn't know that if somebody didn't tell me. I didn't have nachos, so I don't know that. I will say that we've been ordering our nacho chips from Briggs, and I know earlier in the year, maybe like Rodeo, at some point they were coming stale, and thought we had rectified that, because we talked to them about it, but I definitely will. And we also changed up the cheese from the last couple of events because it was too spicy, and we had a lot of people complain about that, because a lot of times you're buying it for kids. So it's got a little bit too much bite to it, so we went down to a milder, but I'll definitely check on.
Well, I had two people tell me that we didn't have a microwave. There's no truth to that.
We don't have a microwave.
Okay. That was true then. Okay.
We do not have a microwave.
So when we have cold nacho cheese, it's just gonna be cold.
Cold nacho cheese, I don't know why it would be, but it's coming out of, it's in a crock pot. They're pulling it from a crock pot, so.
Okay. Well, it's one of those deals. Larry, you can make fun of it, but when you're my size, you don't mess with somebody's food.
No, I understand, sir.
You spend a lot of time worrying about food.
I will say, I was helping out a little bit with the concessions. It probably, when they ran out and then you add cheese to it, someone probably took from
The
a crock pot
added
that was from a
cold.
freshly added one, I'm guessing. And then, you got 15-year-old kids back there pulling the cheese out, so they probably weren't paying attention, is my guess.
We bought a cheese dispenser though, at one point. Did it not work well or work, or what's the deal? Why we're using crock pot and not using a dispenser?
Amy, I'll double check with Amy. There was some sort of issue, but I do think that it was easier for her to use a crock pot, so that's what she was ended up using. But I can ask her.
Mr. Chairman, motion to adjourn.
I'm gonna say first that, seriously, I mean, we ain't never done this, right? Every one of us learning as we go. Oh, y'all ain't never, how many Ag Event Center meetings y'all been to before you in life? Hey, I hope, I'm seriously, I hope everybody sees that the passion is going into this thing to try to make it go over. Well, I hope we can sit here and argue, fuss, and everything else with one another. But it's all over. Everybody here is concerned enough. You're concerned because you're here tonight. But everybody here is concerned enough to make this thing go over. Are we gonna get it 100% right? Don't expect to. That don't keep us from trying. That's what we're here tonight doing, we're trying our best to move Mountaineer County forward. I think we've got a good thing going. Are we gonna hit a lot of stuff? Hopefully. We're gonna miss on some stuff, unfortunately. But we're not gonna be perfect, guys. We're gonna make mistakes, but we will learn from them.
And at least we're trying to do something.
And we're gonna do something. It's more than what's been done in the past, okay? So if anybody goes out here talking about this and talking about this event, it's being videoed. I hope one thing they take away from it is that, hey, those people sitting there tonight cares, and we're trying, right? Now, it's easy to run something down, but it's harder to find something good in it. Let's try to find the good in what we're doing and move it forward, okay? I mean, that's, we argue, it's been heated, But, you know, there's been people that left here madder than all get out. But you know what? We're back the next time, trying to do everything we can do. It's just, it's the passion that everybody's trying to see it go. And it's our first year, we gotta make a hit of it. So please, go out and spread something good about the facility, because we don't wanna be on no blacklist. You know, I'm hoping what Mayor said, hey, we're gonna be able to turn down events. We're gonna be able to pick and choose what happens here. Not another one like this in this part of the country. And once everything gets up and going and off to the start, I think we'll be fine. But we gotta get there. We gotta get the pins, we gotta get the panels, but Fried Pie Festival, good Lord, who would have thought brought in $56,000, first one ever.
I could fry that many pies.
You know, and the building not even done. Not even done. We're sitting here in a building that's not completed. We ain't even halfway through the process of getting everything ready. And we're 19,000 to the good today. But, you know, thank everybody that's been working on it. So let's try to find something good to say about it, because it can go downhill quick. That's all I got to say.
Well, and if we're not gonna meet again, I like.
We're gonna meet again before the budget committee.
For the budget committee, so when is that?
Meet
Tuesday
the
night.
21st.
Their meeting is the 21st. We can meet before the commission meeting on the
Yeah.
21st, if we have to.
Okay. Well, I'd like to give you guys a heads up on what's going on so that you are prepared for what's coming up, right? So we're gonna have Halloween. Like I was saying a minute ago, Halloween is 100% a recreation-based event. That's what I've decided to do with it. You know, I think I told a lot of you that I was gonna do a glow-in-the-dark foam party. There were some logistics that I couldn't kind of square off and make it work out right. So I decided to take what I was dedicating to that monetarily and invested in things that we will be able to reuse time and time again, not just for Halloween, but also for other events to supplement. So if, like at Pie Festival, we have somebody that doesn't show up, we're gonna use this instead, and we're gonna throw it up. These are, when you come, and I hope you will come, and I hope you will bring people to the Halloween event, outside is completely free. So we're gonna do a trunk or treat outside, completely free candy, it's gonna be decked out, and everybody is welcome to participate in that. If you wanna come inside the building, it's $10 to come in, and it's gonna be very much like a school carnival. We're not gonna open the concession stand. We are gonna serve food, we are gonna sell food, but it's gonna be set up out here like a booth, and we're gonna sell cupcakes. We're gonna sell things that are very Halloween oriented, snacks. We might do slices of pizza, snow cones, popcorn, but we're not gonna do hot dogs, hamburgers, that kind of thing. One reason is I don't wanna open those roll-up doors and have the lights on in there. It's gonna glow in the dark in here. Everything's gonna be dark. So I don't wanna have it glaring out of there. So Amy's gonna set up with some of the kids. We're gonna have a little booth out here and sell food that way. So that's one thing. And we want it to feel very much like a carnival. We want it to feel very kid oriented. On the floor, it's all inflatable carnival games. And those are all things that people are up, they're moving around, they're doing things with. Even the high school kids that work for me are really excited about it. They're not the bouncy inflatables. It's not that. So one of them is an archery game. One of them is a big dartboard that you kick soccer balls at, and it velcros to it. There's a lot of different options that we have, that we will have out there. And then we'll be able to isolate them, and maybe if we just want to bring 2 of them out for something else, we can do that. One of them's axe throwing. It's got Velcro on these axes that you throw. So at any point in time, if we wanted to supplement some other event that was happening, we could stick it up right here and you could play that while you're waiting for something else to start. So those are the types of things that, kind of like the ice panels, that going forward, that's what's we'll be able to get our money back out of them, and we'll be able to use them. And the other thing about Halloween is one, we're always gonna have Halloween, okay? One thing you can predict year after year, Halloween, and it is a community event. People will come out for it. I don't plan on making a whole bunch of money. We are gonna charge them $10 to come in. It's unlimited play. You can go play those carnival games all night long if you want to. But I don't expect it to be just a huge moneymaker. I don't expect the concessions to be a big moneymaker. If they're giving out 50,000 pounds of free candy out front, I don't expect people to come in here and buy a whole lot from us to eat. That's one of the reasons we're not gonna serve a whole bunch of food. I don't wanna throw a whole bunch of food away. Okay, so I'm gonna go over to Walmart and buy cupcakes and sell orange and green and purple cupcakes. I mean, that kind of stuff. So that's part of our plan, and part of it is just to get people seeing what the options are and what the things we might be having here are. And it's not tailored towards just little kids. We're gonna have things that bigger kids wanna do as well. So hopefully they'll see that and say, oh, I didn't know we could do that kind of thing here, and get them interested in doing it, and then we'll be able to utilize that going forward. So that's what we got coming up for Halloween. Obviously, we're working on stuff for Trace, which is gonna be the very next week, so we're crammed in there. And then really kicking it for Christmas. There's gonna be a lot of work for Christmas, and I'm gonna be asking for help. So, just heads up. Any questions about any of that? Next thing rolling into next year is gonna be the rodeo, and we'll see what's going on.
What's gonna be the official website where I can go to and see everything that's,
We have it, McNairy.com.
and so all the events is gonna be at the McNairy County Ag Event Center.com website. I know we've got Russellgate, McNairy, and there's 3 or 4 different things I saw Trace come about. But that's what we need to be advertising too, is the website, so if I don't sit on a billboard somewhere, I asked somebody about the arena cross time and how much it's gonna charge and all that stuff, because I didn't see it anymore. So,
Well,
need somewhere to go to make sure.
So make sure it's all available there, and also by the end of the week, we've already got putting up the arena policy. So the arena policy will be what we use going forward, and it's everything that you can imagine the same thing arena will have. So if you've been to any other arena, same policy. No strollers, no umbrellas, clear bags, no weapons, no, all those things that you absolutely expect. And we'll have a little bit of pushback because people think that it's Selmer and that we don't have an arena like other people have an arena. We have the same arena.
Right.
We have the same policies, and it'll be important to make sure that we're following those, and so there will be people that are kind of huffy about it, so we can prepare for that. But it's important to me to keep everybody safe and that we do what we're supposed to do on that level. So when I put in there, or when I said to you earlier that security is kind of to be determined, it's because I need to figure out. Commissioner Jernigan is going to volunteer to work the Trace Atkins show. I am really, really happy that he's doing that. We're going to have a training. The training for anybody who's going to come do guest services is going to be on October the 20th from 1 to 5. Commissioner Underwood is going to volunteer to work the Trace Atkins show. That cuts down the number of people I need. The number of people we need is 40 people. 40 people for the Trace Atkins show. Did a head count last night. That does include the stagehands that we talked about, so that's 10. Because, Mayor, I told you it was 30. I'm adding in his 10, so that's 40. I can show you what a deployment looks like, where everybody will be, what they'll be doing, but anybody who's going to work it, it's going to be training on October 20th from 1 to 5. It's a Sunday afternoon. Provided that I can get enough people to volunteer or get hired, we'll determine how many people I've got to bring in from somewhere else to do it, which will determine what that cost looks like. But we won't be able to bend on the amount of people we need just for the safety and security of the group and of the building as a whole.
Is that what the $3,000 labor is under expenses?
Yes, that's partially it. It's partially, concession stand, but that's why it's estimated, because if we have to bring in a lot of people, it's going to be more. It's going to be more to pay them $28 an hour than it's going to be to pay somebody local who's $10 an hour.
Gotcha.
And transit and all of that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I'm looking at on it to determine exactly what it'll be as far as what that cost looks like. But you have to have people in certain areas. Just like I have to have these sections labeled and easy to identify. Because if you're on a radio and you're standing up there, let's say 3 sections in on the bleacher, and somebody has, I don't know, they pass out. Let's say they pass out for whatever reason they did. You need to be able to get on the radio and easily tell me, Valerie, I am standing at section such and such. We are 3 rows in. There's a lady in a red shirt who's gone down. And I need to be able to find you quickly. Those kinds of things. Typically, you would have 1 person for every 2 sections. For this event, I'm going as skeleton crew as I can. So I'll have 1 person at this end of the bleachers and 1 person at that end of the bleachers, making sure that they don't go out those back doors backstage, but they will be monitoring and patrolling. We'll have people at the stage, we'll have people at the sections out on the floor to make sure that if you bought row S and your seat is row 3, that's where you are, and you don't get froggy and start moving forward just because he hadn't showed up yet and taken his seat. So you've got to have those people to make sure that everybody's doing exactly what they want to do, or what they're supposed to do, and not just what they want to do. So GA is less of a concern because they can sit where they want to sit. Reserved is more of a concern, but it'll be really important that we also have security, that we've got people working the door. We're going to need, 4 to 6 people at the door doing tickets and doing security, as well as the security team that comes in. But that'll be really important because we will check every single bag. We will check everything that they bring through the door. They will not be able to go back to their car for anything. And that's really important that everybody kind of gets that word out, because I don't care if you left your cigarettes. I don't care what you left. If you go back outside, you're buying a new ticket, because if your ticket's been scanned, you're in the building. We have to be able to keep an eye on these things. Mr. Chairman, can I put you on the spot for a second?
Yep.
We have, well, I thought I saw the sheriff a minute ago. We have a couple of law enforcement in here. How many guns do you think are in the building? Right now.
Probably more than theirs.
How many, seriously, that's a serious question. And even if you count the sheriff who was back there a minute ago.
Maybe 4.
Maybe 4.
At least 10.
Raise your hand if you got on a live firearm right now.
Brother, that's none of your business.
So count him in.
Aye.
Not being hateful, that is none of your business.
All right. So it will be posted no weapons, but that just goes to show you, if we're going to have 2,000 people in this building, we're going to have no weapons in the building. And I can't know that everybody has no weapons in the building if we don't have the security and the people to make sure we're scanning every single person. Because even though I trust all the people sitting in this room right now, I hope to God none of them had a bad day, or found out their wife's cheating on them, or anything else that changes the course of your life. So if you're walking into a big group like this, and if you've never been in an active shooting, I can't explain it to you, but we're not going to have one. So we will absolutely have the security that we need, and I don't care where the money comes from. We won't be bending on that one, and we won't be bending on the fire code, because I care about too many people in this community. So we're gonna take care of those 2 things.
There's no event now that you can go to that you're not one and all that stuff.
Can't even carry your pocket now.
No.
Right. And that's because you never know what's going on in somebody's life, and you don't know what they're gonna do at any one given point in time. If he's up here having the best time and he elbows you accidentally and you take it the wrong way and you pull out your pocket knife and stab him, I have a problem.
I know.
So you just don't run that risk. Nobody makes a rule that wasn't necessary. Nobody's just sitting around making them up for fun. There had to be a problem to force somebody to be a catalyst for a rule. So we're gonna go by the standard, and that's something that we just need to keep in mind.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.